Good afternoon. Today I'm here to discuss how our school, Trigo Grade School, part of USD 208, compares to the rest of Kansas. And to really begin to get a picture to how we compare academically to the rest of Kansas, we need to first start by looking at our demographics and how we compare that way. To begin with, let's look at race and ethnicity. At Trigo Grade School, we don't have an extremely diverse population. Overall, we're predominantly white. We have 94.2% that are white, and then a small portion that's Hispanic and another smaller portion that's African American. But compared to Kansas, that has a population that is 65% white and 19.2% Hispanic, 7% African American, and 8.8% that are just other, kind of encompass that whole area. So while Kansas in general is predominantly white, it is even more so at Trigo Grade School that we don't have as quite as diverse of demographics as Kansas does. Another thing that we could look at is our socioeconomic status. Our socioeconomic status at Trigo Grade School, we have 35.1% that are socioeconomically disadvantaged, and we have 64.9% that are advantaged. So these socioeconomic disadvantage would be like our kids that are on free and reduced lunches and different environments like that. For Kansas, though, we have 49.3% that are advantaged and 50.7% that are disadvantaged. That is quite the difference when you're comparing to Kansas to Trigo Grade School. So in this sense, we actually have a greater population that aren't needing quite as much assistance in this area. Next, our area is the students with disabilities. In Trigo Grade School, we have 69.9% that are without disabilities, and we have 30.2% that are with disabilities. This is one where we have a greater population than Kansas, because Kansas, the with disabilities population is 14.5%, and without is 85.5%. Finally, when we look at ELL, that's English speakers of other languages, we have at Trigo Grade School, there are 100% non-ELL. We don't have any students that require these services. But in Kansas, 10.1% require these types of services. So that really, when you're looking at none compared to 10%, is a great difference as well when you're looking at Kansas. Now, all of these factors are going to contribute to how we're going to score on various tests. And really, that's going to be one of the best indicators for us as a district to decide where we stand and how we stack up academically against the state of Kansas in general. So let's look here to begin with at math. When I look at Trigo Grade School and our performance level in math, on these, we're showing that the different levels, level 1, 2, 3, and 4. And just to kind of compare them to how they assessed, I've added the below basic, basic, proficient, and advanced. Basically on KSDE, how they explain these different levels is level 1 is that they're performing below grade level. Level 2 is that they're performing at grade level, but they are not always right on being exactly where they need to be. Level 3 is that they are performing at grade level and they're excelling at grade level. So they're doing exactly what they need to be doing. They're on target, they're on task. And then advanced is that we're performing above grade level. So that the below basic, basic, proficient, and advanced really seem to make more sense to me than explaining exactly what the levels 1, 2, 3, and 4 meant. So as you can tell, the majority of our students at Trigo Grade School in the area of math fall into proficient and basic, which is our goal, but we really do have a large percentage that is below basic. Let's compare this to the Kansas numbers. When we look at Kansas, they have a high percentage that are in basic. Below basic is a little bit higher than ours, and proficient is a little bit lower than ours. But if I look at advanced we're not quite to the 10% here in Kansas, and at Trigo Grade School, we're right at it. So in math, we're really comparing really well, if not better, than the state of Kansas. So that is a very positive indicator for our school, and something that is really great for our district. Next, we're going to look at the area of English language arts. So this is the performance level for Trigo Grade School. So again, I have the level 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is how KSDE labels it. I just added the below basic, basic, proficient, and advanced. If we look here, we have a higher percentage that is below basic, but again, we're looking at mainly proficient and basic. Basic is definitely our highest marker, again, a little over that 40 mark, but basic and proficient are our two closest ones. But next, let's look at the state of Kansas. When we look at the state of Kansas, they again have greater numbers here in the basic and proficient, really very similar again, but they do actually have a smaller level that are at the advanced area than we do. So very positive indicators for our school that we are performing really very well, and also that we're on par for what Kansas is looking at and the rest of the state is really looking. Obviously, in the field of education, we would all love to have all of our kids in the proficient/advanced area, but realistically, we understand that that's not always possible. So comparing to Kansas, I feel like as a school that we are very close to where we need to be at. And if anywhere, I would say when we're looking at our areas of English language arts and math, we could compare those two just as a district to see maybe what our focus should be. So here we've got it advanced at, about 10, 12, and in math, it's not quite up to 10. So maybe bringing more over to that advanced would be a goal for us, is to really start to improve on math, move some of those proficients on up, basics on up. Basically, that should be our goal every year as a district, is that we have less that are below basic, less that are in basic, less that are proficient, and more that are moving to advanced. So every year just trying to make the progression up to the next level even more. But as a district, I see that we are really similar, very close to the Kansas averages. So that is a good positive for our district and something that we should definitely be proud of. Thank you.